Have you ever heard of Candyman? And if you look in the mirror, you say his name 5 times.
In cities everywhere,
Candyman.
they whisper his name.
Right. Candyman.
It's just a story,
Candyman.
Candyman.
just a ghost story.
Candyman.
An entire community starts attributing the daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
The legend first appeared in 1890. He was attacked, mutilated, and burned to death. Poor Candyman.
Helen, a woman died in there. Leave it.
Everyone knows he isn't real.
That's modern oral folklore.
Everyone. Except Helen Lyle.
Bernadette. It ain't safe around here. I don't scare too easy.
Wanna know about Ruthie Jean? They ain't never gonna catch him.
Who?
Candyman.
Who is that?
I came for you.
Do I know you?
Now she is about to discover
Helen? Get out! Get out!
what's behind the mystery.
I'm sick.
What's behind the legend.
Listen, he's under the bed!
And most terrifying of all,
Come with me.
what's behind the mirror.
He's here.
Candyman. You don't have to believe. Just beware.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse. I am the black man with a hook hand, CY Chung, with my co-host.
The stupid people who think it's clever enough to say someone's name 5 times in the mirror, Carl Charles.
Yeah. You're the dumb victim in all the damn horror films.
Stupid.
Oh, you gotta say your name though.
Yeah, Carl Charles. I did say my name.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, you gotta say your name 5 times in the mirror, and then you
Yeah.
it yourself.
How would that work? I just realised. How would
Yeah.
that? Huh.
But yeah, today we are going to be speaking about Candyman 2021.
Yeah.
No spoilers, of course, at the beginning.
Yeah, of course.
What did you think?
Here's a little confession. I haven't actually seen the original,
Yeah. Okay.
so I thought this was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was
Yeah,
entertaining. I didn't leave thinking, oh wow, this film was amazing, or I didn't leave thinking, oh, this film's crap. I just left and went, I enjoyed that for an hour and a half, and then never thought about it again.
It's the exact same feeling that I had, strangely enough, and I have seen the original. I've seen all 3 of them actually.
Okay.
Candyman 1, Candyman,
Yeah.
1992, Candyman Farewell to the Flesh was one of them, and Candyman, I can't remember the other one, right? The sequels weren't particularly any good. But strange enough, I do also have the exact same opinion about this current film, like you did. There's good and there's bad stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that's kind of there to be there, and then there's stuff that's like, oh, that's actually quite neat for an addition to the original set of films.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe you should watch the original.
Yeah.
However, I will say the pacing, like this film, is like the original, where it's really, I wouldn't say slow, but that's what I mean. It's got tension, but it's more the suspense build.
Okay.
That's how the original was as well. So I'll give it that.
Okay. For some reason, I thought the original was more of a slasher sort of thing, but
No, that's what I used to think as well. Or I also used to think that the original was going to be an outright horror, like a psychological horror.
yeah.
But I watched the original about maybe 5 years ago, I think. And it was like, well, no, this is not exactly how I thought it would be. but it's neat all the same. Actually, it has a much tighter and better story than this because a lot of it makes, I want to say, more sense, but there's not stuff that is kind of left up in the air sometimes.
Oh, the original one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It concludes itself, and it has a neat ending as well.
Oh, okay. So the sequels for the original one were just pointless, basically.
Well, okay. What this movie says is not they don't exist.
Yeah.
Not that they do exist. That's essentially it.
Oh,
we'll skip over them. Is what they're saying.
Okay. Because this is a reboot, right?
Technically, I want to say it's a sequel, but not a sequel to the two sequels.
Okay.
Just a kind of more direct sequel to Candyman 1. I want to say.
Okay.
Just to distinguish this one.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So as you haven't seen the original, you thought this was all right, or is because of any particular reason?
No, I thought it was all right. The ending made me feel a bit like, what?
Yeah.
And some things, because I don't have no knowledge of the original, so there's certain bits is like, but that doesn't make sense if you're going in this sort of direction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you see any of the press releases or any of the trailers or anything like that?
No. All I heard on the radio a trailer for it, and it had what's his name? Toby Keith. Wait, is that the guy who does his voice? Whoever the guy does the voice of Candyman.
Yeah.
Tony Todd, sorry.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay. He's still in about. Cool. Yeah, that was the only thing I saw.
Here's the thing, right? As we know that from the original, Tony Todd is Candyman. I didn't know if you knew that because you haven't seen the original, right?
Yeah, I know he's Candyman.
Even if you hadn't seen the original, right?
Yeah.
And, okay, not to get into spoiler territory, but at this moment, but all the press releases, all the information, the media information and stuff they're giving you for like interviews and stuff, spoil parts of this story that you're like, it would have been neat not to know until you actually see it.
Yeah,
because then you're like waiting for it. Or I just assumed that information was going to be given to you in the first 10 minutes or, the first act of the movie.
Yeah.
And then, the characters aren't playing catch up with the audience who already know from outside information.
Yeah.
But that's not the case there. It's like, yes, they find out the information later on. And you're like, yeah, but I already, as a person who's watching, you're like, I already know this.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but it's just like when you see the Terminator movie trailers.
Yeah, when they just tell you basically everything about the film. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Terminator 2 had the trailer where they showed that the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator was a good Terminator.
Yeah.
Right. Terminator 4 revealed that Marcus was a Terminator as well.
Yeah.
And then Terminator Genesis showed that John Connor was evil, got possessed, got transformed into a Terminator.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
Unless it's a joke, unless this is an in-joke from the first person who marketed number 2 and Terminator 2 was like, yeah, I'm going to show Arnold the good Terminator because that's what he's what's selling the film. And then the rest of the trailers were like, okay, let's carry on the in-joke by spoiling the rest of the film and showing you who's who and what's what. Which is a stupid way to go, but
so that's why I stopped watching trailers because it's stuff like that. It's like just give away.
But I think this one was more they told bits to gain interest into the film because they didn't know how to position it. As in, it's not a reboot, and it's more of a sequel. But you don't have to know the originals to watch this.
Yeah.
But they just gave away too much information that they didn't need to. They could have just not talked around it necessarily, but I play this character, who's this, and just give the backstory of the current character.
Yeah.
Rather than a bit more that you don't need to know.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah. But what bits did you enjoy? Like, not too detailed bits, but would you say there's good tension, or would you say the mystery is intriguing? Would you say some of the kills are pretty good?
The mystery was quite intriguing. Again, because I had no idea about anything going into it, so I was like, "Hey, this is pretty cool." All right.
Okay.
But I can't think of it. I don't know what I actually liked about it.
So I will say this, just because you haven't seen the original, it's quite neat how through generations, because in this continuity, Candyman happened in 1992, right?
Yeah.
And then we're talking about 30 years later, this happens. Well, 29 years later, or however many years later it is, right? Yeah. Because the film was meant to come out in 2019.
Yeah.
How word of mouth stories can get, I want to say readjusted, but completely altered by depending on the audience who's telling it.
Yeah.
So I was like, actually, this is quite neat. What they did regarding the original to say it's still in continuity, and then some other ideas that they tweaked to continue the legend.
Yeah.
Of the Candyman. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool stuff. Yeah. How's the acting for you?
The acting was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the acting of the film. I liked all the actors. The guy who played Anthony, the main character's name was Anthony, right?
Yeah, Abdul-Mateen. We're talking about, what's his name? Black Manta.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was him, innit? Yeah, thought so.
Yeah,
he was good.
To be, I want to say he was built, right? But he didn't need to be. But there was never a point that, oh, yeah, okay, this guy, he's a buff-looking guy, but why is he being scared? There's the way he's acting is just like he just happens to be built. He's not like, oh, I'm gonna use my
didn't play into anything, which
give me super confidence to try and fight a Candyman or the supernatural being. None of that silliness.
Because that would have been weird if he did that anyway. It'd been dumb, but he was.
No, but you know what I mean. It's like he's not a meathead or anything like that. He's an artist. Yeah. He just happens to have a good build.
Yeah, he was good. What's her name?
Who?
The woman who played his girlfriend, Brianna. I liked her. She was pretty good. I would probably say she's the main character in this film.
I wouldn't disagree, but I'd say it's more of a split between the two of them. However, I will say when it goes towards the end, she takes more of the heavy lifting.
Yeah. And she carried it. I think it was kind of a good idea to go that route anyway, because it makes more sense rather than just following him around.
Yeah.
To where what happens next? A bit weird.
Yeah, exactly. It needed kind of, I think between in the middle of Act 2, kind of shifted the character, who the main central characters, even though they were both co-leads, I'd say, they kind of shifted more towards like from him to her in the middle of that, so we can get to the ending of in Act 3.
But it was really. Everyone else was just there, I guess. Cause...
like you say, there's people that are there's people that are stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I have to say we don't like them being stupid, right? But they're not outrageously stupid for no reason. No. There's a reason for these people to do stuff. Even though you're like, how legitimate is the reason? Whatever, yeah. But it's not like they're just going to start calling Candyman in the mirror for no reason.
Yeah.
There's something that kind of triggers the calling. And then these idiots start going, yeah, you know what? I'll do the calling. I'll try that. And you're like, that's how I know you're a fool.
Yeah, that was a bit. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like one of those things where you start, like The Ring. You start it, and it just other people continue it.
Yeah.
Who should know better, but just be like, you always got those people that just push it a little bit too far.
Yeah,
then when you get situations like this happen, so it's never like the deliberately calling Candyman to call him.
No,
it just seems like they're just simply not sensible.
Yeah,
or like a bit naive, or that sort of thing. Not like they're just not exactly simply calling him to set the plot in motion.
No,
which kind of they did, but it's more like there was a reason behind it.
Yeah. But what else?
I thought some of the kills were pretty good in the sense that you didn't need to see too much. It cut away certain times, so it's not a slasher film.
No,
it doesn't have slasher elements to it, but it's I want to say tastefully.
Like the scene in the toilet, right?
Yeah, which is in the trailers, but you're without spoiling them. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need to see everything.
Yeah, I like that. I was like, okay, cool. You didn't have to show gratuitous violence for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they could have.
They could have.
Wait, it's a 15 rated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose they didn't want to get into 18 rated territory with all the too much blood and gore.
Yeah, because that would have been.
But it is. What did you think of the? I want to say the investigation element, but more of like when he's searching about the legend of the Candyman.
I thought again because not seeing any of it, I like that part because it sort of let me get into like, okay, this is what this is all about, rather than kind of assuming.
Me having seen it, it's like it's actually it gives you backstory without feeding you too much at a time.
Yeah.
As well, which is good. Which is good for both viewers because you might have forgotten how that previous film was, or like you say, you haven't seen it, but it fills you in on certain elements enough that you're like, okay, I see what's going on. But there's all tweaks, of course, that they add, which I do like, but then there's some bits you're like,
yeah.
There's enough to like about this film, but like you say, then there's stuff like you're like, right? Did you need to do it this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say, all right? As a person who hasn't watched the first set of films, would you recommend this film?
Yeah, because it was easy to sort of jump in and like sort of get up to speed with what's going on without actually knowing any history. So yeah, I would say.
I would say watch it too. As I don't know, let's say part of the Candyman saga. If you like that sort of thing, it's not bad. It's not like terrible enough to say not watch it, but I think you'll be entertained while you watch it. But then you come out of it going, wait a minute, I got questions.
Yeah, like I did.
Yeah. So I just want to say a tentative thumbs up-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, look, as you're watching it, you don't feel that anything's wrong with the film.
No.
That's how good it is, right?
Yeah.
It's only when you step back and go, you're coming out of cinema and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Because, like, we begin to spoil a bit, so I'll say, like, yeah, the direction afterwards, like, I'm confused by this. Like, where are you trying to go with this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, which is kind of good in a way. That it keeps you thinking. Well, it keeps you watching. Keeps you like trying to think. Okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
How's the rest of the story going to unfold? Yeah, and then you're like, afterwards. But anyways, well, that's more like spoiler stuff, which we will get into in just a minute, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Straight up now, spoilers, yeah?
Yeah. So from the 60-minute point onwards, spoilers. Yeah. Don't know why I said all that. So,
Black Manta is the okay. So yeah, like you say, you haven't seen the first one. Black Manta is the kid that Helen rescues from the bonfire.
Okay.
That Candyman was kind of, I think, trying to. So he was making his own Candyman family. Either that, or was trying to transfer his soul to the boy to get reborn. I'm not exactly sure, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, because he wanted to live again. I'm not sure if that meant live again as through a rebirth or live again as a new family. Group. So yeah, and I don't think they should have told you that in anything. They should have just left it, because then when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is that kid.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah. Also, like I was saying before, how when they told the story of Helen Lyle, and all the people in Cabrini Green, like, okay, so the black people that are telling it like she's a psychotic. Well, telling it as a story they know from the section of when she was in the city, which is like some white woman come in there, right?
Yeah,
and then mad stuff happens, like, you know, murdering the dog, like, and kidnapping babies and stuff like that. And then baby's in the fire, but it looks like she's trying to burn the baby, which she's trying to rescue it from Candyman, who no one else can see.
Yeah.
Right. So I get that. It's like, oh, it makes sense how the story got completely twisted. Especially since it's like not a race thing, but it's just more like a outsider.
Yeah.
Like a white woman outsider into the city full of that city area full of black people. It's like, of course it'd go that way. Only the mother of the kid, of Anthony McCoy, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, when she tells him, it's like, that's the correct story. Because she was directly there, she would know, you know?
Yeah.
Who's going to listen to one crazy woman whose child got kidnapped, you know? So I guess, in a way, she couldn't really, even if she told the truth, who's going to listen to her? The legends are the ones that continue, right? When it's incorrect.
Yeah.
Which is why I like all the shadow puppet stories of the Candyman.
Yeah.
And how they went through iterations where it's like a hive nest of Candyman now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. But what I didn't think was, okay, so technically they got a new Candyman, right? Yeah. Sherman Fields, right? Not who's not Tony Todd, not the Tony Todd character either.
Yeah.
But they only show that Candyman. It's like, okay, the intro is about this guy who's the black guy with the hook, right?
Yeah.
Who is in the pimp jacket, right? I don't want to say it's the pimp jacket, but you know what I mean, the furry.
Yeah, the furry jacket, yeah.
Yeah, and the white trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it's and they got I don't want to say a sinister looking guy, but they got a guy whose face is kind of you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Whether he's sinister or not. So they cast a guy deliberately to look kind of like he could be the Candyman, he could be a good guy or a thing. But come on, when you cast a guy like that with a hook in his hand and a sinister smile, you expect the audience to expect that he is the Candyman.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But then you got all the other stories of the Candyman. I was like, oh, so what's going to happen maybe in the story is he starts seeing reflections of the other Candyman.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going
on. But it just seemed like, no, they're just going to go for the one guy. And it's like, yeah, but if he's seen all of them, shouldn't he see, not all of them at the same time, but just like each time he sees a mirror.
It should be a different one, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Then they just showed the hive a bit more.
Yeah.
I will say this as well. When you're how Sherman Fields, the Candyman of this movie, how he died, right? You give him sweets to kids, okay? And he's hiding in holes in walls, in rundown apartment buildings, and he's stepping out, more sinister like. Okay. Now I'm like, okay, first of all, yes, the racist white police beat him to death, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's mistaken identity, fair enough, right? And he's not like he's fueled by vengeance, like by Tony Todd's Candyman was.
Yeah. Or the other ones they're talking about in the films, yeah.
Backstory was basically he fell in love. He was a painter artist person, and he was doing portraits back in the 19th century. Racism being at its peak. Yeah. And then he hooked up with one of the rich family's daughter. Yeah. And then all the white people beat him up and cut his arm off, stuck a hook in it, and covered him in honey's ink, and then the bees all stung him to death, right? Yeah. Now that is vengeance, where you're like, all right, I'll come back and I'll haunt all you MFers to death, right?
Yeah, and it makes sense. Yeah.
But this guy, this Candyman, who was like, okay, it seemed like he was a genuine. From the story being told, he's like just a good guy. He just seemed like a guy who got caught up in the wrong time and place. Yeah. All right. But to be fair, you're giving sweets to kids randomly. It does give off those vibes.
Yeah, and hiding in walls. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, right. But now now that he come back as the Candyman and starts killing people, you convert this innocent victim, right? Yeah. To a serial killer. So are we meant to root for him being innocent victim, or now that he's just murdering people? So how does that work exactly? And you can't even say the reason for him being killed was enough to make him come back and start murdering people. You know?
Yeah. That's what
beat to death, right? Beat to death is different from being horribly tortured like Tony Todd's Candyman was.
Yeah. I think the only connection you really can put is the guy already had a hook hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the racism, but that's actually part of the story rather than you know how like some people write stuff in like because they want to make a statement.
Yeah.
This racism has always been part of the Candyman story, anyways. So it's like, okay, now that you mention it, like within this new story, it's like, oh, it's fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah. Cause that's why, when like I said, I've said this like 8 times now. I haven't seen the original, so that's why I thought, okay, this Candyman has nothing to do with the original Candyman.
Yeah.
But now that I know, it doesn't make sense that you see him rather than the Tony Todd version. But yeah, I don't get it.
I did kind of like, they did say Tony Todd was going to be in it, so I'm like half waiting for Tony Todd to come on screen.
Yeah.
And he makes the CGI cameo at the end.
Yeah.
Where the Hive Candyman are just one Candyman.
Yeah.
That can transform into the other Candyman, it seems. Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not really made clear.
But it was looking to me, right? The way I was thinking, okay, the way that the initial story seemed to be set up was you got this Sherman Fields Candyman who is the serial killer, right?
Yeah.
Who's become the serial killer. But he kind of used the legend of the Candyman to make him like the pinnacle Candyman.
Yeah.
Because that's why he did the appearances. And then later on, when Yahya Abdul-Mateen investigates the original Candyman, Tony Todd will make an appearance as Candyman. And they not saying it'll be Candyman versus Candyman, but it'll just be like, you usurper trying to take my glory as yours. And then they have a little bit of a, face to face or something at the end. Not necessarily a supernatural fight, but
Uh-huh.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought there will be not Candyman versus Candyman, but I thought this Candyman in this movie was trying to take over the legend of the Candyman, and then they'd have Tony Todd come back in the movie to straighten him out to some degree.
But why? I don't know how you get to that, but okay, all right.
No, but that's why I thought, like, because they brought a new Candyman in, I just assumed, that the direction they're going is he's trying to wipe out the existence of the original or something like that, maybe. Yeah, but clearly they didn't go that way.
Okay.
You know how horror villains can be, right?
Yeah. If this was a horror film, but it's not really a horror film, so all right.
But that's only because they said to me, they said Tony Todd was going to be in it, and you're like, all right, well, if he's going to be in it, there's going to be a reason, right?
I just wanted it to be one of those weird little cameos. Oh, there he is, like basically in this. I didn't think he'd have a major role because all these things don't really do that. It's just like, hey, there's a nod to everything you used to like. There you go, and then carry on.
But that's. So that was all good. I. Like you said, okay. Let's just clear things up here, right? Yahya Abdul-Mateen is an artist, and then he starts investigating the legend of the Candyman.
Yeah.
And then he has an art exhibition show.
Yeah.
Where he puts mirrors up, and he's like, this is the metaphorical project that I'm working on, where it instills some sort of, I don't want to say feel or whatever, right? How legends can affect your mentality.
Yeah, something like that. Something trying to be too deep than it should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're like, you're supposed to say Candyman in front of this cabinet of mirrors, and actually inside the cabinet of mirrors is actual art show.
Yeah.
But
so convoluted.
Yeah, that's why. But most people didn't open the mirror. They just assumed that the reflection and the calling the name of Candyman is the actual his project.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that sets up the whole Candyman thing. Like I said, he was investigating before, and he runs into. He goes to. So, his girlfriend's gay brother.
Yeah.
By the way, I enjoyed those two actors. They were quite fun.
Yeah, he's from the brother. He's from that show Misfits.
Is he actually British?
Huh?
Is he American?
No, he's English.
Oh right, he did a quite good accent. I never thought he was. Wasn't American.
No, I was like, oh yeah, I remember you. And I used to watch Misfits like 10 years ago. Good on him.
So, but is he actually gay in that as well?
No.
He acts straight in that.
Yeah.
All right, I was like, this guy's did a good job. I don't know what he is, if he's being straight, acting gay or whatever, right? But I was like, oh damn, he's proper thrown himself into that. So that was a good. I like them two guys were pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it was hilarious.
Yeah, they worked as quite a really good pairing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy tells the story of the Candyman, and then Abdul-Mateen goes into Cabrini Green looking, starting to investigate, looking for trouble. It seems, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so then another guy that he meets tells him more about the Legend of Candyman, hence the art show.
Yeah.
And yeah, some, like you say, some jabroni girls, some jabroni teenage girls, because that's what you do. You couldn't be jabroni teenage boys, but it's just jabroni teenagers.
No, that's a bit later on. That bit you're talking about.
Sorry?
The bit with the teenage girls. That's quite later on in the film.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like you were saying before, they start saying Candyman in the mirror. So yeah. It's like, of course. But then again, I think the art show kind of made people
aware of it, I guess.
Yeah, well, tempt them into saying, because when the art show was over, one of the art show owners' side piece, what do you want to call her?
His inappropriate date, we should say, because
intern who.
Yeah.
It's not just there for the intern experience, yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, she's like with that guy, and then she starts saying Candyman to the mirror, because they want it like take the Mickey out of the art piece. Yeah. Let's go and do what he says. Ooh.
Yeah.
And they're like, you idiots. Yeah.
They deserved it. Yeah.
It was like, what do you think of the Candyman floating like across like a vampire? I want to say,
that was weird.
Yeah. Would you prefer if you slow walked?
I don't know. I don't know if I would prefer if they did the cut shots where 1 minute he's there, then it turns back, and then he's like in front of you.
Yeah.
The floating thing was weird.
You're telling me you would allow the Jason teleport spam in this movie?
Yeah, because the floating just looked weird. It was like, wait.
Yeah, it is true. To be fair as well, they could only see him in the mirror.
Yeah.
So it would work if in the way, so you look in the mirror, he's doing something, right?
Yeah.
You turn around to see if he's there in real life. You turn back, he's teleported somewhere else behind you.
Yeah.
That's
in the mirror realm. Yeah.
To be fair, he's a supernatural character anyways, overtly as well, so.
Yeah. That just made... It was weird, especially at the end when you see him just floating. I was like, is that one of his powers?
Yeah.
Is it because of the bees? I don't know.
I just assumed it was because he was supernatural. Yeah.
The bees lifting him up, it's like there's so many questions.
Yeah. I did, by the way, the shadow puppet storytelling, where it's more like they give you. Did you stay past to the end credits?
I think halfway through.
So during the end credits, they basically give you the paper shadow puppet story of all the other Candymen.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat. I liked it.
Yeah, I remember a bit of that. I got halfway through that, and then I had to Google if there's any more. And it was like, if it's after scene credits, and there's no, it's like, and it's left.
Oh, yeah. But I liked how they told flashbacks and not proper flashback style.
Yeah.
It's more like urban legend style retelling of flashbacks and stuff like that, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, about to say that. It just makes more sense.
About, who knows exactly what's going on in within the universe of this movie. No one knows. That's why you got the story of the story being retold multiple times.
Yeah, the story of the story. Yeah.
Yeah, but it works. It works.
It works.
I did like how what's his name? Coleman. William Burke, who is the laundry shop owner, who's telling Abdul-Mateen about the Legend of the Candyman, and he turns out to be, I don't want to say the cult of Candyman, right? But he's like, oh yeah, I want the legend to come true. I want to make this guy. I found the boy who was the one that was in the fire from the Candyman 30 years ago, which somehow coincidentally just found him. You know what I mean? Like Anthony McCoy, Abdul-Mateen, he went to take photos as the legend has been told him at that time. So it's just like, okay, that's not a coincidence, but he just happened to be there. And then this guy happened to come across him.
Yeah.
Now, if later on this guy said, I've been searching for you for over 30 years, that's a bit more of allowance, you know?
Yeah.
You deliberately found him.
Yeah.
At the time he was coming for you. And it took you 30 years to do so. Or, however many years, right?
Mm.
It allows a bit more for this is not just a coincidence, you just happen to find him to set the story in motion as well.
Yeah.
But I did like how okay. Now his idea, by the way, is just crazy because it's crazy people do crazy things, right? But I did like the idea of basically him. I'm gonna recreate the legend of the Candyman, right? This boy who was taken by the Candyman 30 years ago, I'm gonna make you into the Candyman. So that was a bit.
Yeah.
I don't thinking that don't make logical sense, but at the same time, does work within this context of this movie. It just is like, but how do you also have get the guy who's kind of getting worked into the curse?
Yeah.
So that's another thing. It's just like if you say, to be fair, he deliberately planted the seeds on him to search it as well. But how do you know how far it would go then he'd be able to convert this guy into Candyman, you know?
Yeah.
If you had to give some more, I don't want to say witch doctor backstories or something like that, but just like you deliberately led him in that direction to make him like that, like you gaslit him into becoming the Candyman, that'd make more sense.
But like, was his plan like? Does he know the Candyman's actually real? That's another thing I didn't get. Like, or did he just want this guy to be like a martyr so the sort of legend will continue?
It seemed to me that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay, here's the thing, right? It actually it can go two ways, as you're saying. You don't know if this guy actually knows if the actual Candyman is real, but he believes in the legends that are being told through the iterations, and he's just like, you are going to be the Candyman for this generation, and therefore I'm going to, and this is what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's like, what I think about it, that kind of is like a cool idea, then kind of weird at the same time, but yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't executed with the most forward-thinking logic.
Yeah.
Because if they planted enough seeds, and you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it now. Now I think about it. Like, if you just see him as a nutcase, then it makes sense. If like him not knowing the Candyman's actually real.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, you get those people that are just proper obsessed.
Yeah.
Get that the vibe this guy was given.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Give the vibes of I'm so obsessed, I'm going to create a new Candyman.
Yeah. So because like his whole plan was like for him to get killed, and then everyone believed, oh no, Candyman's real. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm cool with that now. No, spits on.
I sacrifice myself. Please, and he comes down and he says, please kill me, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
I want to be your next victim of that stuff. But that might be going a bit too far, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I'm up with that.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the transformation Anthony McCoy was going through?
That was weird. Like, I liked it, except for the way he looked. It made me feel sick. But yeah, no, I liked the whole visual.
Which bit that you didn't like the look of?
Like his whole I like the gradual, I like the whole transformation, but I found it uncomfortable, like when he's pulling off his nail and stuff like that. Stuff like that makes me feel sick. I can't.
So during the first 10 minutes of the movie when he got bit by a bee,
when
he's investigating the legend of the Candyman, and then throughout the movie, I don't want to say his body rots because it doesn't, right? But the bee sting does something to him where it looked like, first of all, he was starting to have the signs of the burns that he might have had as a kid, just kind of reforming on him. But it turned out that wasn't it. It was like a beehive forming across his entire body.
Yeah, that's
which would look nasty. I mean, that didn't look good. When they towards the end when they take off his clothes, where the William Burke takes off the Anthony McCoy's top, and you kind of see the beehive hexagons. You're like, ooh, that does not look nice.
Yeah.
Not. I also thought what's going to happen is that like you said, he started putting off his nails on his hands, right?
Yeah.
And he started pulling off skin, as some people do, right? And then he just start putting off more and more meat, and underneath that meat is a hook hand.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, if that's the direction that you're going, he's going to be the Candyman because of that. Except that, obviously, that's not the case.
No.
The William Burke cuts off his hand and shoves a hook into it.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, okay, that's a bit.
Yeah. And he's like, this is a new Candyman, boy. No, he didn't do it like that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're going to be the new Candyman. You're going to make the legend continue.
Yeah, I was like...
And then he calls the cops, right? William Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Candyman's here, come to kill people. Gets all the cops to come in. So he terrorizes Anthony McCoy's girlfriend, Brianna Cartwright, yeah?
Yeah.
And she ends up getting away, getting a pen, or was it, what would you say, it was a pen or a box? All right. And she gets the jump on the guy as he's becoming a proper slasher horror film, breaking through doors and stuff like that. I'm coming to get you, girl.
Yeah.
She gets the upper hand. She starts stabbing him in the eye with a pen. He's dead and gone. Anthony McCoy kind of stumbles over towards her in his half-hazed Candyman state, where he's like, you know what? Is it kind of like so much internal pain that he's like, he can't do anything about it. He can't even scream. That's what he was just like a massive daze. And he just basically flops over next to her. And he's like, oh, it's over. Except then you get the shadows, right? This is how the scene is shot, right? He's fell on her lap. You got a body behind her.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's like not stroking him, but she's like, oh, it'll be all right. And then it's like the upper half of her, where you see the shadow of a cop saying something, and then a couple of shots, and she reacts as though she's been shot.
Yeah.
Sees blood, and then she's like, it's not her. And she looks down. Obviously, they shot the Candyman looking guy, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is kind of clever because you don't know what race of person shot her.
Yeah.
Shot him. I was like, okay, so what they're going to do after they view out here is they're going to show maybe people of different races. Like you got a Chinese cop, a Latino cop, maybe an Indian cop, and the white cop, right? Who shot her? Because you can't attach the voice to the character.
Yeah.
To who shot her, right? It's like, it wouldn't be a race thing. It'd just be like, he just happened to think this guy is the Candyman.
Yeah.
Right? Except then go that route. But then when you think about it logically as well, why would you shoot a guy who's just lying down, clearly looking dead already?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it turns out then it was a bunch of white cops, and like, all right, they're gonna go this direction.
Yeah.
That it was white people that shot him, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then what it is not just white people shot him, and not even by accident. It blatantly racist white people because they come in there, they put in the handcuffs, they ask her, what did you know what you saw, right? And they basically tell her what she saw.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, you boys, you deserve what you're gonna get next, right?
Yeah.
When she says to him, when she's like, this is what happened, right? He came at us, we shot him to death, right? That's how your story is going to be. Because if it isn't, well, who's going to believe you over us?
Yeah.
We're cops as well. We're not just racist. We're not just white.
Too.
We're cops, right? The biggest gang in the entire city.
The world, yeah. In the city, yeah.
Right. Not to say, obviously, in real life or whatever. I'm just saying in the context of the story.
Yeah, in the context of the story, yeah.
And she's like, if I'm going to live with myself saying this, I want to see myself in the mirror. He's like, no, you do as I say. He goes, please, I'll say what you want. Just I have to be able to look at myself when I do this.
Yeah.
And then she starts whispering Candyman, and he's like, what are you saying? Because you're thinking, you're in a confined car with someone else. How can he not hear what you're saying? But she whispers it a couple of times, and he actually says, what are you mumbling? As she's finishing it off. And then he's like, what? And then she said, the last Candyman. And then, like, all the two other policemen on the side just got murdered. And when the Candyman floats towards her car, the car she's in, it's Anthony McCoy, who's the new Candyman now. Basically, drag out the racist white. Oh, he tries to run, doesn't he? First.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gets slashed to pieces. And then obviously, I think at that point, because she's like, this is about vengeance, right? But then she must have had some sort of second thought about it after she's seen these people just get murdered in front of her.
Yeah.
Which is good as well, because you're like, yeah, okay, she's boiling with anger at that point, but she realizes, actually, I've gone a bit too far, and I can't stop what's happening now.
Yeah. She's just
when I realized what exactly I did. And then all the bees fly over him, Anthony McCoy, because, coming out of his beehive body.
Yeah.
And then he converts to original Candyman Tony Todd.
Yeah. And it says, tell them about me.
Yeah, the legend continues.
Yeah.
Which was, but I was like, okay, fair enough. But you never found out, by the way. Okay, the whole point of why Sherman Fields was supposedly Candyman, he was handing out sweets to kids, right?
Yeah.
And there's razor blades being found in the sweets.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, but who was stuffing razor blades in the sweets then?
Yeah.
Listen, that was a plot point brought on just to frame Sherman Fields.
Yeah.
In the viewer's eyes, or in the cop's eyes, or whoever's eyes, right? But it never concludes.
Nope.
And I suppose it didn't happen because it's about the legend of Candyman. But it's just like, okay, you brought this up, and it's just gonna be left in the air.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because this is like, for me, this is where the film sort of didn't fall apart, but I was like, okay, I don't get where you're going with this, because like. Like the whole racist cop bit, I thought, okay, that seemed to me, I felt a bit forced. Like, all right, this is sort of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you sort of turn Candyman into a hero.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Exactly. Which was a bit weird as well, because first of all, like you were saying, we mentioned he murdered them school children, right?
Yeah.
6-year-old girls, right?
Yeah.
And there was a girl hiding in the toilet because she wasn't part of this. She was just happy to walk in there to use the loo.
Yeah.
And then she heard everything. Like, you can't come back from killing teenage kids.
No.
No matter how out of order they are, and like they're mean girls, right? But they didn't cross that line with like, you deserve what you're getting, sort of mean girls.
No. And then even with what's his name, William Burke's sister, when she gets killed in the toilet, as when he's a kid, again, it's like, I don't sort of get where you're trying to take this, because all right, I get they're trying to make him sort of like a hero to black people, whatever, but then he killed an innocent black child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he killed the art critic as well.
Yeah. Who did nothing.
But she hadn't done anything. She just had to be a victim.
Yeah.
She called his name. It was like, yeah. How do you work out exactly what alignment? Candyman.
It makes no sense.
But that's what I was saying is, if the Sherman Fields Candyman was like a true villain Candyman, and you get the other Tony Todd Candyman as, you're tainting my legend.
Yeah. Then
that kind of can work, except that no, they're all the same hive Candyman essentially.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works multiple personality wise. Is Tony Todd like the Queen Bee Candyman?
Yeah.
And allows other people to take control of the Candyman whenever he desires.
Mm.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. Yeah.
Just to do a bit more clearing up, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then again, if you start clearing these things up a bit too much, then people will be like, "You've given us too much information."
Yeah.
You need to know. Look, Supernatural, we can kind of let things slide here and there.
Like, honestly, like, if they didn't bother with the Sherman Field Candyman, if I still think this film could have worked without him, because his sort of Candyman sort of doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Because, like you're saying,
would you have preferred it just be the Tony Todd Candyman?
Yeah, because he has like a reason to be vengeful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get me wrong. Sherman Fields, he does have a reason.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really help himself in a situation like in general.
Yeah.
If you're innocent, why are you hiding in buildings and giving candy to kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get like it was so racist back then as well, but like it doesn't really help. Or
no, I think the issue is right. We don't know how racist those policemen that beat him in the 70s were because, like, when you're looking suspicious and you're being suspicious, and it just happen to be white people that are the cops in that area.
Yeah.
But it's not as if they didn't beat him to death for no reason.
No.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was more of a Sherman Field's Candyman was a misdirection.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to. I don't know. Say, they spent too much CG to make Tony Todd look immortally young.
Yeah.
As Candyman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you say, it's like he just kind of either you do the complete hive of different type of style of Candyman, or you just as the Tony Todd Candyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But it takes too much CGI to do young Tony Todd. But then again, you can hide his face until the reveal towards the end. Just keep the voiceover, right?
Yeah.
The more you have his face, I mean, like put it in shadows where you don't see too much of it. You can get a look enough of a, I want to say a stand-in or a lookalike. You don't need to see in this film. You don't need to see his face until the end anyway. The way they could have shot it.
Yeah.
Just hide and like, my man Tony Todd, right back where he's meant to be, right at the very end, where you just only need to see his face, you know?
Yeah. But hey, who are we?
There are actually quite a lot of different ways that you could have hid his face, like I said. Do different shots from the cameras where you only see the back of his head or the side of the face, or they could have start having his face rotting with the bees and stuff like that on it.
Yeah,
they thrown a ton of different gimmicks on that.
Or they didn't have to show his face; just have the bees all there, and they just say, "Tell everyone." That's all you need.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I will say that. I mean, hey, it's
a good film.
Yeah, it's good enough for watch.
Yeah.
But it throws out more questions sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there'll be a sequel?
Probably. But
do you reckon it would have been better if they went the straight horror slasher route with this?
I don't know, because I think they might just went over the top.
Yeah. To be fair, I like how they did it and how it was like a sort of a mystery to be worked out. And they didn't use too much of the Candyman. Sometimes it's just more of the aftermath.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see him, but you don't see him enough to be like, do too much sinister things.
Yeah.
Because when he's killing people, I think it's more like he's invisible. If you don't see, if there's no mirror around, you just see the body kind of. I mean, when he killed the art critic, he slashed her throat and they smashed into the door of her apartment and slid her across.
Yeah.
And it was like, the lady on strings or whatever. You know what I mean? It was. You never saw him do it. You just see an invisible entity kind of do what it does.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, Sherman Field's Candyman was a bit.
Pointless.
Candyman in general, what they're trying to say is, he's a good guy or is he a bad guy? Because at the end, he saved the lady from the racist cops, girlfriend, right? That's more of Anthony McCoy saying her sort of thing. But then through the movie, he's murdering kids.
Yeah.
The kids that he was handing out sweets to, who was being non-sinister to.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Like I say, I like the hype idea. I like the investigation of the Candyman legend idea. I do like how the misinterpretation of what Helen did back in 1992.
Yeah.
Was good because that's how things are. They are readjusted through time.
Yeah.
I would like to see probably more because they talk about all the other Candymen throughout the decades.
Yeah.
If each, like we were saying before, if each Candyman, each time you saw a killing or whatever, it was representative of that particular Candyman.
Yeah.
However, Candyman was a little boy, so I don't know how sinister that would have been because a little kid in a furry jacket, white trousers with a hook hand. I don't know. It would be really sinister, or would be really laughable.
Really, yeah. It's that fine line, isn't it?
If that kid killed all the schoolgirls, that might have worked.
Yeah, could have worked.
Because seeing the kids get killed by whatever is not. It's quite a disturbing sight at times, anyways.
Yeah, most of the times. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, you're saying a 50-50?
Yeah,
Watch
50-50.
it, don't expect too much of it.
Yeah, don't expect too much.
Like saying, I think the cast all were good in this.
Yeah.
Willie Burke coming off well as a Coleman Domingo coming off well as a. We want to say the cult of Candyman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you know the mother, the lady who played the mother of Anthony McCoy.
Yeah.
Is the exact same actress from.
Yeah. Vanessa E. Williams. Yeah.
And I will say this, right? I was like, I had to Wikipedia how old Yahya Abdul-Mateen was, and then how old that lady was afterwards, because I was like, this lady does not look old enough to be the mother of this guy.
Yeah.
And she turns out she's 50-something.
Yeah.
And she's 35, so it actually could be.
Yeah, it could work.
Like,
yeah.
20 years old and she had a kid is fair enough, but I'm just saying she looks
young.
Yeah, she looks like 15 years older than him maximum.
Yeah. Because like when he met her, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair though, at that point in the film, he was starting to look ragged.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Was
So
like,
that might have just aged him up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than he was meant to. But yeah, I was like, cool. That mum does not look like a. To be fair, if we say he was 28, but then again, she still does not look like 50 something.
Yeah, she doesn't, does she?
So good on her, by the way. As you would say, black don't crack, right?
Yeah, man.
So it's like, okay, she's got the fountain of youth there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, cool, good on her. Still looking young.
But she acted great and for her cameo. She didn't want to. She was like, when he started mentioning Candyman, and she knew all about, like, she somehow reached back to her character she was playing 30 years ago. She was like, no, we don't speak about that stuff. We don't speak about it. You know, and she didn't do it in a overtly outlandish way. She was like, just, you know when you have to tell your kid, do not.
Yeah.
Right? Dead serious, do not. That's how she was.
Yeah.
I was like, that subtle piece of acting was really good. They show it in the trailers as well, but it's just like a very straightforward, subtle piece of acting there. It's just like, yeah, no, and that's it.
I didn't even know there was a she was in the trailer. That's a silly thing to put in a trailer. Okay.
Yeah. I know they reveal a lot of it in the trailer, but she was in the trailer and basically, yeah, they're like, we don't talk about it. They kind of kept a mystery of who she was. But when you work out, okay, well, we know that Anthony McCoy is the kid.
Yeah.
I think it's fair, right? People probably could have put it together if they got the girls, if the Anne-Marie McCoy,
yeah,
and you have your main character as Anthony McCoy. People would have put probably two together. However, let's put it this way, right? Who knew that? Yeah, I don't think they gave the actual name of the baby.
No.
In the first one, so he could have just been some other random guy called McCoy, and then he found out later on because she lied to him about where he was born, anyways.
Yeah, because he thinks he's born in the South Side, but he's not.
Exactly. So it'd be better not to know this stuff as he's working out as well. Not only is he trying to figure out what the legend of the Candyman is, he's like, wait a minute, there's holes in my story too. Why is she trying to hide this stuff from me? Yeah, and there would have been a better conclusion to the end where you're like, William Burke goes to him, it was you all along, you are the guy.
Yeah, it was me, Austin.
And you have a direct connection to the legend of Candyman. I'm going to create a new Candyman out of you, you know?
Yeah. But then it'd be weird for him to sort of know that anyway. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Just being more not out of nowhere-ish, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very, 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 look, it's strange to say you'll be entertained as you watch it.
Yeah.
Step away and you go,
huh.
Wait, what? Yeah, I've got questions.
Yeah.
But if there was a sequel, would you go and watch it?
I don't know, because I don't know where they would go with a sequel, because then it's like we were saying earlier, is he a hero now then? Is he going to be called every time there's a racial injustice?
Yeah,
and then...
I prefer him like I prefer him like Jason, right? Where he's just the supernatural entity to do what he does.
Yeah.
Don't give him any alignment. He's just aligned wherever the hell he wants. He's full of the original Tony Todd Candyman was just full of vengeance anyway. He's just killing. I don't want to say necessarily white people, but it was just killing whoever calls his name. Right?
Yeah.
You don't need to go back. Like, there's no necessity for any alignment there.
No.
The people call his name, and then he just murders them straight up.
Yeah.
That's it. And he only went after Helen Lyle in the original Candyman because she looked like the white lady that he got with back in the day.
Yeah.
So that made sense.
But,
okay. Does it make you intrigued to watch the original Candyman? Well, okay. First of all, does it make you want to watch Candyman 1?
Yeah, it does. It does actually make me intrigued.
You came out with like, you know what? I'm gonna check the original out just to see what I might have forgotten. Maybe I should have watched it before I watched this one.
Yeah, I thought the same.
But I'll give it this film. It's like, yeah, it pulled me back. Like, okay, let me check that out. But do you want to watch the sequels?
Probably not, because I heard they're dreadful.
Okay, fair enough. But
I would for banter's sake, I guess.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is okay. So this film intrigued you enough to watch Candyman 1, right?
Yeah.
But does it intrigue you enough to sit through the rest of the film, with the rest of the set of films, without knowing anything about them?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So it's probably done its job then, that it's meant to. It did bring the Legend of the Candyman back. However, the logic then doesn't apply for Candyman 2 and 3 because you're like, well, if it's a hive Candyman, you could have written more about it in Candyman 2 and 3. I suppose this is a new idea though. They went to refresh the legend in this film.
Yeah.
It's not as if they had it in their back pocket when they were writing those two, the two sequels. All right, so that would be anything else you want to say?
No, nothing else really. Just enjoyable film. See it if you want to, I guess.
Yeah. But it's good that you hadn't seen it and the originals, and you got what's going on, because it's pretty straightforward. But then again, the characters are learning as you're learning. By the way, what intrigued you to want to watch this film as you hadn't watched the original?
I know people have been banging on about Candyman my whole life, so I thought, you know what? There's a sequel now. Let's go and see it. Yeah. So.
Okay. I guess that's fair enough.
That's like the easiest thing I can really think about. Like, yeah, I'll see it. Okay. You know, I have a problem watching slightly old things. This is new. It'll help me, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I think you'll probably the way that you'll probably enjoy number 1, and then if you are intrigued to watch the rest of them, we go and watch the rest of them. But Candyman 1992, I think you'll probably enjoy that more than this.
Okay.
Because it makes more conclusive sense.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear then. I like stuff that makes sense when it does.
All right. So that'll be us signing off. I am the Human Beehive, CY Chung.
And I am the morally ambiguous Kyle Charles. Because I don't know if I'm killing people for good or for bad. I don't actually know. You know?
You don't need to. You know, you're just killing for killing.
Killing, yeah, just kill for kill's sake, you know. And yeah, if any of you have seen the Candyman 2021, let us know what you thought. Did you come up with questions like we did? Just let us know. Yeah. And, you know, give our channel on YouTube a like and all the other great stuff.
Hello?
And we'll catch you next time. And thanks for taking a trip around the multiverse. Bye.
This is where it all began. The story of Candyman. Local character, he walk around handing out candy to the neighborhood kids. One day, a couple of kids get razor blades in their candy. Police come around. That's when I saw the true face of fear.
Get on your knees. Hands!
They beat him, tortured him, killed him, right there on the spot. A couple weeks later, more razor blades and more candy. He been innocent.
So he's real?
Candyman ain't a he. Candyman's the whole damn hive. If you're out here looking for Candyman, you ask me, stay away.
I feel really connected to this story.
God.
right here in this neighborhood, the legend started. And the legend is, if we say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, we could summon him.
Summon the Candyman.
Hell no.
Candyman.
Anthony, no.
Candyman.
Stop.
I don't want to get creeped out in my new apartment before bed.
Candyman.
Black people don't need to be summoning.
I dare you.
Don't say that.
Say his name.
Candyman.
You better not do that last one.
Candyman. You want to be a part of the story, right?
No.
Say his name. Candyman.
Anthony? 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 Are you okay? What the hell is going on? Anthony!
This neighborhood is haunted.
I think I made a mistake. I brought him back.
Candyman isn't real!
He chose you. He has purpose for you.
Tell everyone.
New to the neighborhood.
You should say it.
Candyman!
Say his name.